Hey guys, good morning. This is Working coming to you on July 2nd, Monday morning. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a great week myself. Actually, it was a wonderful week last week. It always sucks coming back from vacation, but anyway, I am glad to be back with you guys. I am glad to be back trading. It's been killing me not to trade. Made my first trade yesterday and it felt great. So, anyway, digging right in here, guys. Looking at BTC, USD, looking at the Coinbase chart. We're going to be looking at Coinbase as well as Bitfinex. Right now, I've got the 1 week chart up. And we're still looking at the same support and resistance zones that we were looking at before. This massive descending resistance line we finally broke through. I told you that I wanted the new weekly candle to open up above this massive descending resistance line. We got that. Very bullish indication, guys. All eyes are still on this 6,000 to 5800 support. And now we're looking at this massive descending resistance line. This is now the line that we're going to be looking at for resistance. And it's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times, a couple times by just a wick, but it has been tested a few times. So this should provide some very good resistance, guys, to the upside. So that's what we're going to be looking at. Big picture wise, that's what we're going to be looking at. If we do break, as I've said in the past, guys, if we do break below this 5,800 support, I'm expecting this ascending support line. I'm calling it a critical ascending support line that goes all the way back to the beginning of 2017. I'm expecting that to provide a lot of support, and I'm expecting if Bitcoin does break below 5800 to find support on that ascending support zone there. So looking at the zooming in on the 4-hour chart here, and I apologize, guys. This is the second time I've made this video. I was trying to get it out to you before we did have this breakout. There was a clear bullish pennant that formed. It was forming as of yesterday. Sundays are family days for me, guys, so I usually don't post much on Sundays at all. So again, I apologize I didn't get this out to you sooner, but this bearish pennant was validated. We did have a break to the upside, and I was expecting it to find some support in this area here. Guys, I apologize if you hear some background noise. My lawn guy's out there doing the lawn, so I apologize. Hopefully you can hear me okay. But I expected to find some resistance right around this area, right around 6450 or so. Bitcoin just tore right through that, which is, again, a very bullish indication. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Again, I apologize for my lawn man. That is a very bullish indication. I'm expecting this to now act as support. So if we do get Bitcoin coming back down to test a support, I'm expecting it'll find support around just below 6450 or thereabouts. The resistance zone, the shorter, closer in time zones that are time frames that I'm looking at as far as resistance is this resistance area right here. I'm expecting to find some resistance at about 6750 or thereabouts, between 6750 and 6770, somewhere thereabouts on the upside. If Bitcoin does end up retracing and coming back down, I'm expecting to find some support here at 6200 or thereabouts. And if it does end up breaking down even lower than that, there is support at 6100. I've got some buy orders down here at 6100, but as of now, I'm not expecting them to get filled, but hey, I've got them there just in case. All right, looking at my big picture count, I'm not going to go too much in detail, guys. If you haven't seen my past videos, please go watch them. I've covered this count in detail before, but basically, I do believe we're still in the WXY pattern, possibly having completed it. If you're not familiar, WXY pattern just connects two ABC corrective patterns with a failed wave in the middle, denoted by X. If this is in fact the bottom, if we have found the bottom of C wave, we should be in 5 impulse waves up, and only time will tell whether or not we have. I do have a second big picture scenario count, or big picture count, a second scenario, I should say, and that would put us in a ABCDE pattern. If we are in fact in an ABCDE pattern, and this does make a lot of sense, guys, if in fact this is the case, you can see that Bitcoin, when we had this spike up to 20,000, toppled back over down to around 5900 or so, and then we had this second guppy rally. I'm calling it a guppy rally. I think that was pure manipulation, where Bitcoin came up, created a lower high, somewhere just above 11,000, I believe, somewhere just above 11,000, and then toppled back over. Excuse me. Then created a third guppy rally here, or excuse me, a second guppy rally here. Came even lower, didn't even break 10,000. I believe we came up to 9,990, so like I was like $10, $20 shy of 10,000, and then wasn't able to break it and toppled back over to where we are now. It would make sense to me. Sorry, guys, I keep pausing the video because I don't want you to have to hear my lawn man. I'm going to have to go out there and fire him here in a minute. Just kidding, guys. I would never do that. He's a great guy. So this is possible. As I said, we're in an ABC corrective pattern that would kind of continue this pattern of creating lower highs. You can see we did it once, twice. It wouldn't be surprised to see it happen a third time with a smaller guppy rally, guys. You can see there are fewer and fewer suckers that are willing to go for this, and it may just topple back over. Or again, maybe this isn't a guppy rally, guys. Maybe we are, in fact, on the upside. I'm not going to be convinced until we break two things. The first is going to be this ascending resistance line that I talked about at the beginning right here. If we can break above that, the next zone I'm going to be watching is $10,000. Why $10,000? Because, as I said, we're creating a series of lower highs. The last lower high was about 9990, just below 10,000. If we break above 10,000, that breaks that trend of lower highs, and that tells me that the momentum is shifting in the bull's direction, and that we are, in fact, in a nice long-term uptrend. We've got short-term and long-term uptrends right now. We've had a couple short-term uptrends only to be extremely disappointed. We'll see whether or not that's what this is. Only time will tell, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us hit D and come back down for a final E wave, and then maybe off for the races. We'll have to wait and see if that happens or not. I know some people say, hey, you can't have an ABCDE pattern on a WXY correction. That is incorrect. You can't have an ABCDE pattern on this first corrective phase, but you can on the second corrective phase. In other words, after the X wave, that second corrective phase does not have to be an ABC. It can be an ABCDE. So I had some guy asking me about that, and no, you can't have an ABCDE corrective pattern as long as it's after the X wave. Coming over to the 4-hour MACD, guys. As I told you before, since early May, it's just been a ghost town of buyers. We haven't been able to break above on the histogram above 51. We finally did that day before yesterday, as I said in my last video. The histogram broke above 51. The next thing I was watching is the MACD line. If you don't know what that is, that's just the blue trend line. The MACD line has been unable to break above 72.2 since May, since the beginning of May. It tested it one time, but it was unable to break above it. Today, just recently in the last couple hours, it has started to break above. We'll see whether or not this is a bull trap or not, but if we can decisively break above, that would be a very bullish indication. I'd like to see the signal line, which is just the orange line here. I'd like to see the orange line, the signal line, break above with it. So we'd have a nice decisive break above 72.2. We'll see whether or not that happens, guys. But things are looking kind of bullish right now. They are looking rather bullish. Looking at the one-day MACD, I told you before the histogram was getting squeezed tighter and tighter. We had a nice breakout. It has continued to uptrend. It has continued to show market strengthening. That's another bullish indication. Looking at the MACD and signal line, we are continuing to see an uptrend as well. We're showing no signs of reversing course. Again, that's a very bullish looking one-day MACD as well. On the one-day RSI, guys, we did have a nice breakout of this ascending resistance. It does look like it's continuing to trend upwards. Very bullish looking indication. I'd like to see this on the daily chart maintain above 50. Right now we're just testing about 50 RSI. If we can break above that and maintain above 50, that's going to be a very bullish indication. So we're going to have to wait and see. Zooming in on the 4-hour RSI, it looks like we've had a nice ascending support line here. I usually don't label things support or resistance until it's been tested at least 3 times. We have had 3 tests, so I am labeling this an ascending support line. Right now we're a little extended. Looks like we're a little oversold, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin reverse course a little bit and have a nice little pullback. What I'm going to be watching, all eyes are going to be on this ascending support line, as I said, guys. If Bitcoin, if the RSI, the 4-hour, respects that, then that's going to be a very bullish indication that we are, in fact, on a longer-term uptrend. We'll have to wait and see. Looking at the 4-hour chart, I've got the 821 and 55-day EMA. I made an entire video on this, guys, a little while back if you want to dig it up, but on trading via the 4-hour chart on 821. Trading, I believe it was titled Trading MEAs, I believe it was, somewhere thereabouts, something like that. But anyway, the gist of it is, guys, a very bullish indication is when you've got the 8-day EMA on top, 21-day EMA in the middle, and 55-day EMA on the bottom. That is a sign of a market strengthening. We had that happen when we had that bullish setup finally when the 21-day EMA broke above the 55 right here, creating an 8, 21, and 55 on the bottom day EMA. That's a bullish setup in my opinion. That's that is one of many. If you're looking at buy signals, that's a very strong buy signal for a swing trade on a 4-hour chart. Not a long-term position, but on a swing trade, that's a very, very bullish buy indication, and should be used in conjunction with other indicators. And it's not full, so it doesn't mean it's definitely a good buy, but it does mean my radar goes up significantly when I see a bullish setup like that. And we can see if you did use that as an indication to buy, you would have bought somewhere around 6380 or 6280 or somewhere thereabouts, and you can see where it is now, hovering around 6594 or 6600. So it would have been a nice little swing trade for you there, if you did use that as an indication. Coming into the one-day chart, same idea, guys. And it also works in reverse. As you can see, we have a bullish setup right now, or excuse me, a bearish setup right now on the daily chart with a 8-day EMA on the bottom, 21-day EMA in the middle, 55-day EMA on the top. We'd like to see that reversed for a bullish setup. We haven't had that yet on the daily chart. Daily chart obviously lags the 4-hour chart, but we are seeing some bullish indications. We had an 8-day EMA that Bitcoin price was unable to break through. It finally did break through on my last update, and now we can see it just broke up above the 21-day EMA on the daily chart. If we can get it to close on the daily, if we can get a daily candle to close above a 21-day EMA mark, or EMA, then that is going to be a very bullish sign of strength. We'll see if that happens. And just to give you guys a quick update, as far as a good indication to go longer term holds are when we get the 8-day EMA on top, 21-day EMA in the middle, and 55-day EMA on the bottom. That's more of an indication on the daily chart that you're going to go long, maybe a nice long and hold. That's a good time to consider a nice long and hold position. This is not financial advice. I'm not saying that's a 100% accurate technique. I'm just saying that is one of many indicators to keep an eye on when looking to buy. All right, my bearish count remains the same, guys. I'm not calling this my primary account anymore. I'm about 50-50 at this point. I'm definitely leaning more bullish than I was before. But looking at my bearish count, it does still remain the same. Zooming in, we can see that we've got the 1. Looks like the 2 is just finishing up. Possibly the 2 could go higher in this case and then come down for a 3, but we'll see. 2 coming up, coming down for the 3, and then coming down for the 5. I've got the 5 listed where it is because this massive ascending support line I pointed out in the beginning on the weekly chart, here it is right here. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to find a lot of resistance or support in this area, and that's why I'm labeling this as the bottom of the 5th wave. If I actually drew it out with our fib levels, you would see that's not necessarily a one-to-one extension of wave 3. If that is in fact wave 3 as I have it drawn. However, I do believe it's going to find its support in that area, and I would expect a nice bounce off that area to complete the WXY pattern if in fact we are in a bearish scenario, and if in fact that larger ABC pattern has not yet found bottom. If it has found bottom, excuse me guys, if it has found bottom, then my bullish count is in play. This is still very much in play, guys. As I said, I'm about 50-50 at this point. Zooming in on it, we can see that wave 2 probably found bottom, has probably more than likely found bottom if this count is accurate, and we are now up to our wave 3. This is obviously my sub-wave 3 of the larger primary wave 1. Wave 3 is often the longest and the strongest. Why am I only targeting about a little above a 1-to-1 ratio of wave 1? I'm a conservative trader, guys. I typically don't want to give you guys any false hope. I'm a very conservative trader, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. There's a good chance wave 3 could go a little bit higher, but I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver. And I'm expecting wave 3. There's a lot of resistance between 6,800 and 7050. There's a lot of resistance in that area, so there's a good chance wave 3 is going to end up in that area if in fact my bullish count is accurate. And we're just going to have to wait and see, guys. But this is still very much in play. This is looking extremely impulsive right now, and this is looking like a very plausible wave 3, sub-wave 3, in my opinion. So we're going to have to just wait and see. And with that, guys, that basically concludes today's update. If you have any comments, criticisms, suggestions, or praise, please let me know in the comments section below. I take them all. I've got thick skin, guys. If there's anything you'd like me to add or delete, please let me know that as well. I do this for you guys. I don't do this for myself or for the few dollars I make on Steemit. I do this for you guys. I had a mentor in the past that helped me out a lot, and I just like to pay it forward, guys. So I do this for you. Any suggestions you have, please feel free to let me know. Also, I'd certainly would appreciate an upvote or a re-steam if you feel like this has been valuable content. Just helps me know that you guys are enjoying the content and I'm doing something right. So until next time, this is Working signing out. Be safe, guys, and take care. Bye-bye.